Through the whole pandemic, I think a lot of people realized how nice it was to be with family again and not have that busy atmosphere, that busy lifestyle of having sporting events every single night and meetings and all these different things.
So I want to welcome to the show today. I got Derek Lester, kind of wearing two different hats today. So it's like the old NASCAR races where you change off the hats when you get into victory lane. So Derek with 58 Woodworks, as well as with Highlands Fellowship, the youth pastor there at the Abingdon campus. So welcome to the show, Derek.
Thanks, appreciate it. Good to be here.
Yeah. So the reason I wanted to chat with you today is there's been obviously a lot of craziness going on with COVID,
to say the least.
So I know you guys, you relocated down to Abingdon a little over a year ago.
Yep.
For you to work with Highlands Fellowship, and kind of a few months in, got a little bit of a curveball here, right?
Yeah, it was a completely switched career paths from one in an athletics field into a ministry field, and I was in it for 3 months, and the pandemic hit. And so a whole new job, a whole new life back here at home where we were born and raised, and switched into this world that nobody had seen coming.
Yeah, I mean, what's amazing, I've talked to so many different business owners that through COVID, they've kind of found new avenues to be able to connect with people and do things different than what they were doing before. So, tell me some of those challenges for you. And dealing with youth, that's hard to begin with.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to connect with them. So how through COVID, what have you guys done differently to try to get out and communicate with the youth and get them involved still?
Yeah, so the first day, it was a Sunday that we found out that we were kind of going into quarantine as a church, and we were going to shut our doors for whatever 4 to 6 weeks there. And so that was a Sunday night that we found that out. And by Wednesday, we had to have an online show for the youth. They wanted us to have it in 3 days, something that we had never done before. As a church, we had been putting stuff online and kind of broadcasting online, and so we had the capability. But as a youth, we had to produce a little half-hour show in those 2 days, starting on Monday morning. And so we prepared messages, we prepared some funny skits and stuff in those 2 days, and had them out to the kids. And ever since that first day, we've been doing an online ministry every Wednesday night. We have a watch party, we call it. And so we've been airing that every single night since March, every Wednesday. And then over the couple of weeks, and when we started getting back into the church, we began having services live again on Sunday mornings and Sunday nights. But they were all completely different. And we have a different set of students now in the doors than we did before. And some of those students that were there before are now watching online, and we're trying to get into contact with them however we can. We're doing movie nights, doing stuff outside, and all of these different events we've found that they're all different groups of kids. And so everybody's kind of coming back to us at their own pace, whether it's 100% online, whether it's doing those outside events only, or coming to the church every Sunday.
So going through that you said you're reaching a different set of kids than what you were beforehand.
Yeah.
So have you seen the ministry actually grow during this because you're reaching people in a different way?
Yeah, it's funny. Across our area, at least, the attendance for churches has dropped, obviously, but a majority of the churches have seen a little bit of a growth for youth. And I don't know if that's parents wanting to get their kids out of the house, or the kids just being so bored at home, and it's been tough, the online stuff, because now they have online school. And so reaching them online is a little bit tougher, and they're wanting to get out of the house. And so providing a safe as we can atmosphere where all of our volunteers and staff are all masked the full time, and if we do have food, it's all being bought outside and served, gloved and everything like restaurants. And so definitely switching it up to try to get the best entertainment value to the kids, because it's not like a regular church, where you come in and sit down and sing 3 songs and listen to a sermon. They want to have an active atmosphere, and we're trying to provide that.
And I know you guys are doing a lot to be able to meet them where they are.
Right.
So I've seen where you guys have started a ministry on TikTok of all places, right?
Yeah, so we started TikTok a couple of months ago to try to reach kids, like you said, where we are. And we had a couple of meetings saying, do we really want to enter this atmosphere that has a lot of bad things on it? But, Jesus went to the places where the sinners were. And so being on all these devices and being all these social media platforms where the kids are was really important to us, and try to spread a positive message just through funny videos.
I've heard it through the business mindset of you want to be omnipresent. It doesn't matter what medium the person uses. You want to be able to be in front of them and create a presence. So it makes sense doing the same thing with ministry and meeting them where they are. And as you said, Jesus meeting with the sinners. It didn't matter a sinner or saint for him. It was spending time with them in communion and being able to make that difference. So you've seen those challenges of what COVID has brought to you, and that's some of the opportunities I'm hearing that you guys have used differently to be able to mentor to them or do things differently. What relationships have been most important to you as you've went through COVID to be able to continue to grow your ministry?
I think just the relationships with the people around our area and being kind of one of those regional partners of the people through all the churches in our area and kind of figuring out what they're doing right, what they're doing wrong, and also allowing, we're a pretty big church for our area, and allowing us to share the resources that we have and the information, whether it's our statistics or whether it's some of the platforms we use or some of the information that we have that other churches may be able to benefit from. And so just being willing to share, because we understand that not every kid is going to come to our church, but we definitely want everyone to hear the good news and to see all those things regardless if they ever step in our doors. And also being aware that there's kids out there that may never step in our doors, that may be online forever, may be out in our communities and never come to church, but we still want to try to reach those kids through all the atmospheres that we can.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, a big part of what you guys are doing is creating an experience.
Right.
You know, something that's unique, that's different for other people with that. And one of the things I've seen that you've done on a personal level is go back to some of the experiences that you had as a youth and things that meant a lot to you, and which actually created the facility that we're in right now with 58 Woodworks. It starts in a place the same as Apple, as anybody else, starts in the garage. Just behind the scenes, guys. We're in the garage and we're having fun out here with that. But you know, tell me a little bit as far as why that meant so much to you.
I think so through the whole pandemic, I think a lot of people realized how nice it was to be with family again and not have that busy atmosphere, that busy lifestyle of having sporting events every single night and meetings and all these different things. And it's kind of also turned us into more self-sufficient. Being more self-sustaining, whether it's growing a garden, which we started out back, or building things that we need in our house just for us. And so my grandfather was a woodworker, and he kind of taught me a couple of things, but going over through his farm during all this and just walking around and finding pieces of wood that I can use for certain things, and realizing through the pandemic that good things can come from that. And that is building things. And so I think the biggest part of this pandemic has taught us and our family to be more self-sufficient for when stuff does happen, and so that you can provide for yourself for some things. And then also building a community around you, because that's another big part of this whole 58 Woodworks is not just selling items, but bartering or giving stuff away to people for different things. And so being part of that atmosphere as well.
It's really neat. I mean, I know for me in doing any type of woodworking, which that's part of what brought us back to Virginia, is being able to be more self-sufficient and not be in the bigger city, that you can do that. But just with the woodworking, when you can feel the piece of wood, that you know how many hands touched that and the generations and everything, whether it be an old tree that somebody used to play in the yard and they remember, you know, like, oh, I remember back in the day that it was this, or if it's that you remember walking through and the smell in the barn and just the memories that come with it. And the fact that you can pass that on for generations to come, it means a whole lot. And obviously, if you see any of Derek's work, you can see what it means to him. So be sure to follow along with that. But if, you know, just from the basic things of a cutting board and all the family meals that are going to be cooked with holding that.
Right.
Or, you know, we picked up a couple of the American flags for our office. So if you're in our office in Lynchburg, you can look at those in the waiting area with that. Shameless plug, I'm sure, with that, right? But what do you want to have as far as when you're thinking of the legacy or the impact in the community, whether it's through the ministry or through 58 Woodworks? How do you want to be remembered in the community when it comes that time?
I think that's like what the whole purpose of starting all this is just be known as like a hard worker and be known as something, building something that will last. And that's, you know, everything that you build with wood is obviously going to be a lot longer lasting than something you can buy in Walmart or Target or something. It's going to last for years to come. And so somebody that is hardworking, that is willing to put in work on something that will last, whether that is with student ministry, because a lot of times you talk to students and you try to guide them, and you never know until 20 years down the road if that affected them. And so it's not always, immediate gratification that a lot of us want. It's something, especially with woodwork, and the patience that it takes, and the longevity that something has because of how long that took. And so building something, whether it's people or products that are going to last a long time, that's kind of what I want to be known about.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, I can remember years ago, Roby Barnhart. So Roby Barnhart was one of our youth pastors at a church that I would go to for youth group. It wasn't where I went for regular church, but I went for youth group because it was different, and it stuck out. I can still remember a lot of the life lessons that he taught, and I'm sure you guys are putting a lot of those same things in place with kids that they're remembering, 20, 30 years later with that, but it means a whole lot, and it's things that they still carry with them. And with the woodworking, of course, signing every piece and knowing that you made that and where it's going and all the places that it might go in the future.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Right.
Amazing. So Derek, where can people keep up with you, whether it be for the woodworking or the ministry? What are the different social channels or the best way to contact you?
Yeah, anything online. If you have youth or anybody interested in finding some of our funny videos, or we do weekly reviews on our messages, hf.church. And you can find everything there, whether it's here in Abingdon or Bristol or Bluefield. Any of our campuses, we have some YouTube channels and stuff that are on there. And then the Woodwork, 58 Woodworks on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, everything. All the social media platforms, I was able to grab that 58 Woodworks, 58 for Route 58 here in Virginia.
So if you want to see some amazing stuff, like you can build a manger with just a snap of the fingers.
That's me.
That's him. So be sure to check that out. Until next time, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Andy.